In a surprising turn of events, Hamas called for an end to the long-standing conflict in Gaza. This came after Donald Trump won the US presidential election. Hamas saw Trump's victory as a potential turning point. They believed his presidency could pave the way for peace. Trump's term saw significant shifts in US foreign policy. His administration brokered the Abraham Accords. Hamas saw an opportunity in Trump's unpredictable nature. They hoped he would prioritize a peace deal. Many dismissed these pronouncements as rhetoric, but Hamas clung to hope. Hamas's call for peace was not without its conditions. They demanded a complete end to the violence in Gaza, including an end to the Israeli blockade. This blockade, in place for over a decade, has crippled Gaza's economy and severely restricted the movement of its people. Furthermore, Hamas insisted on international recognition of a Palestinian state within the 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital. Israel has consistently rejected the notion of a fully sovereign Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, citing security concerns and historical claims to the land. Hamas's demands, while echoing long-standing Palestinian grievances, were seen by many as unrealistic. The Israeli government, led by the hawkish Benjamin Netanyahu, showed no signs of softening its stance on the conflict. The international community, while acknowledging the plight of the Palestinian people, was also hesitant to endorse Hamas's demands. Israel greeted Hamas's peace overture with skepticism. They saw it as a ploy to exploit Trump's election and gain international sympathy. Israeli officials publicly dismissed Hamas's call for peace, pointing to their continued rocket attacks and refusal to recognize Israel's right to exist. Instead of addressing Hamas's demands directly, Israel chose to emphasize the strength of the US-Israeli relationship. They reminded the world of the bipartisan support Israel enjoys in the US Congress and expressed confidence that this relationship would remain strong under a Trump presidency. Israel also highlighted its shared security interests with the US in the region, particularly in countering Iran's growing influence. By framing the conflict as part of a larger geopolitical struggle, Israel sought to garner continued US support and justify its hardline stance against Hamas. Their refusal to engage with Hamas's demands, even if presented as a peace overture, highlighted the immense challenges facing any future peace process. Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's long-serving prime minister, had a complex relationship with Donald Trump. Despite some public disagreements, Netanyahu saw Trump's return to the White House as an opportunity to advance Israel's interests. He hoped that Trump's pro-Israel stance would translate into unwavering support for his government's policies, including the expansion of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Netanyahu also believed that Trump's aversion to foreign entanglements would make him less likely to pressure Israel into making concessions in any future peace talks. However, Netanyahu was also wary of Trump's unpredictability. This uncertainty loomed large over Netanyahu's calculations as he sought to navigate the complexities of a renewed Trump presidency. Donald Trump's first term left a mixed legacy in the Middle East. His decision to move the US embassy to Jerusalem, while celebrated by Israel, infuriated Palestinians and drew widespread condemnation from the international community. On the other hand, Trump's administration brokered the Abraham Accords, a series of normalization agreements between Israel and several Arab states, including the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Morocco. These agreements were seen as a major foreign policy achievement and a potential game changer in the region. However, Trump's decision to withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal significantly escalated tensions in the region and raised fears of a new conflict. Trump's Middle East policy was characterized by a mix of unconventional diplomacy, transactional deal-making, and a disregard for long-standing US foreign policy norms. This unpredictable approach made it difficult to predict how he would handle the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in his second term. The convergence of Hamas's unexpected peace overture and Israel's skeptical response and Trump's unpredictable nature created a complex and uncertain landscape. Some analysts argued that Trump's return could breathe new life into the stalled peace process. They pointed to his willingness to break with conventional wisdom. Others, however, remained deeply skeptical. They argued that Trump's pro-Israel bias would make him an unreliable mediator. Ultimately, the fate of the conflict under a second Trump presidency remained uncertain.